Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Before I get started, yesterday when I was going through the comment section and people were telling me that um, my perspective and Brock TV's perspective were very similar, especially when it came towards Jocelyn. I felt like it was a little bit because usually we're kind of on the same page, but when I watched this video yesterday, I was like, yeah, we were definitely on the same page when it came towards Jocelyn. And speaking of Jocelyn, today she said something about Spencer as far as calling him an entitled tool. And I'm like, sweetheart, you really might want to sit there and check yourself and dial back the insults, okay? Because just because she's not as blatantly open about her entitlement doesn't mean that she does not have the same vapid entitled attitude as Spencer does. She may play it down a little bit more, and sometimes, she is more nicer, especially when it comes towards certain people. And she won't sit there and just be a total entitled jackass like Spencer. But, you look at the conversation that she had with her mother, calling people idiots for their decisions that they made in life. I'm like, sweetheart, you are barely 18 years old. Keep your goddamn mouth shut when it comes towards judging adults who have lived their life, who have dealt with ups and downs in the relationship and just this journey of life. Keep your damn mouth shut. That girl vexes me. And I'm gonna be completely honest, if I used if I was doing YouTube around the time that Christina used to vex the living hell out of me. When it came to her Sonny and her trying to, have sex with Johnny in order to get under Sonny's skin. Oh, I would have ripped that girl. Mm-mm-mm. So the DA calls Spencer up. And, before that happened, Spencer's like, hey, listen, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to help you out, or, I'm on your side, something along those lines. Starts his testimony. You would honestly sit there and think in some ways, I'm not a lawyer, but the questions that she was asking, specifically about when Spencer left, she was like, do you think that anyone else was in there? Do you think that there was anyone else, that could have recorded, that could record the sex tape or not? How the hell is Spencer supposed to know if somebody else was there or not? I feel like at that point she was reaching. She was reaching. She was desperate. She wanted to win. And, when you start doing things like that, when you start taking little shortcuts like that, you're dealing with people's freedoms and people's lives. I just don't understand how she's sitting there asking Spencer, oh, well, to the best of your knowledge, can you sit there and say there was somebody else there or not? To the best of his knowledge, he wasn't there. How could he even sit there and test? God, that made no sense. I don't think that this woman has a personal axe to grind against Trina or anything like that. I just think that she is ambitious and she will do anything to win. It doesn't matter if she puts, an innocent person behind bars or not, especially with that line of questioning. Now, at the end of, his testimony and everything, Trina comes up to him and Trina is furious, basically trying to make it seem like, he dug her a deeper grave. He really messed up and really did her case some harm. But I'm like, listen, I get you can sit there and be mad at him for a lot of things, but once again, he was under oath. You can't blame him for his testimony on the stand because she was asking, questions, and she was asking some very unreasonable ones. And it's not like Diane was like, whoa, how could he actually testify to something that he wasn't there for? Or, answer that to the best of his knowledge. I don't understand why Rory is blaming himself for his testimony, while Jocelyn was blaming herself for her testimony. Because at the end of the day, this woman kept twisting people's words around and making a scene, trying to make her case, trying to damage her case. So I don't think anyone has anything to be feeling sorry about. Least of all, Rory. I mean, hell, he's putting his neck out on the line just by supporting her. He's putting his career, on the line just by being there. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really understand, um, like Jordan going over there to ask Nicholas questions about some guy that he didn't see, he didn't even know was on the island. She didn't really get any answers that she was looking for. So in the beginning, I was like, what was the point of this scene? But then afterwards, after she left, Nick realized just how badly he screwed up his life by practically inviting a sociopath into his home. And he started really, one second. He started sitting there thinking about all those other encounters, and he kind of realized, yo, there's a good possibility that she set Trina up. She's a danger to our family. And on top of threatening him by sitting there saying, well, thank goodness it didn't go that far. He realized that he screwed up. Victor gets in there and he's freaking out. He tells Victor, well, he starts to tell Victor about his, little one night stand, and he already figured it out. He was like, I gotta sit there and I gotta find Esme before she blows up my family and blows up my life. And, Victor was like, what does she have over here? Oh, hell no. So now at this point, he wants to get rid of her, like as in 6 feet under. And Nick was like, no, 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 I don't want to go, I don't want to do that, I want to live up to my mother's expectations, I don't want to let her down, I don't want to sit there and lie. I'm like, Nicholas, what do you want? What do you want at this point? Because this woman can sit there and blow your life to hell at any point in time. And there's nothing you can do about that. The best you can do is get ahead of it. And this is something that Ryan was sitting there saying. When Ryan was like, well, how was you able to sit there and see me? And she talked about, well, what's the point of leverage what's the point of leverage if you can't use it? And Ryan was like, you gotta be careful, because if you push too hard, you can sit there and tell the truth, and he can sit there and look noble and everything like that, and that just messes up my whole plan. And once again, he made it about himself, and, Esme was like, well, what about me? Now, Esme asked, who is my mother? And Ryan was like, I don't know. I'm like, how do you not know? How do you not know? I mean, this woman knew who you were, and, you shared yourself with her, and this, that, and the third. Now, what I'm sitting there obviously thinking is that Ryan is playing her. Ryan knows exactly who Esme's mother is. When Esme was like, Spencer knows, and if I don't say anything, that I may never know. And Ryan was like, don't do that. The sad part about this whole thing is that she is actually contemplating taking Spencer's deal. I can't believe that this woman who outsmarted damn near the whole town is falling for this stupid ass plan. Okay, and let's be very clear. It's dumb. It is just dumb. There's no guarantee that he's going to tell the truth, and she can wind up going to jail. I mean, yeah, I get it, resources and everything like that, and you know what? Listen, boo, it's I. I feel like she would just sit there and say, no, I can find this on my own. I can, use my trust fund. I can, when I turn of age or whatever, I can get it done. I don't need you. I don't need to sit there and go to jail. And I don't even know if you're telling the truth or not. So No. But the fact that she's actually contemplating giving in to Spencer, that's what annoys me. Because it's so stupid and it's so beneath her. As far as being this clever girl that, outsmarted everyone. Um, Hell, at one point, Esmer actually threatened her. Threatened her. Was like, oh, well, listen, if I go to jail, I may sit there and try to do some less time by sitting there giving information on you. And when he got up, I thought he was going to sit there and try to scare the living life out of her. Ryan has been around the block doing this either before I was born or definitely before I started watching the show. Ryan was like, he tried to play the father card and hugged her and everything like that, and was being all sympathetic and started talking about her mother, just to lower her guard. He does slip in a threat like, listen, if you go somewhere, I'll always find you, no matter where you go. And I thought that was a threat, but she continued hugging him like, oh, daddy, kind of thing. And I'm like, okay. Now, at the very least, he did get her to pause on taking Spencer's deal. So I guess he accomplished something. So I officially checked out with this whole Cody and Britt thing. Cody goes over there to try to apologize, try to make amends, which I really didn't understand. Why can you just not be himself in the beginning? Why did he need to sit there and be somebody else or be who he thought she wanted him to be? That to this day makes no sense to me. But he goes over there, he tries to apologize, and she's acting all bitchy and everything. And I'm just like, bro, why? What do you see in this chick? You do realize that there are so many other women that he can sit there and be with. What is it about her that's so damn special? Because the attitude is just, let's put it this way. Most guys, majority of the men, would have said, nah, I'm good. Because it's just not worth it. Her attitude, all that, just nope. This dumbass is still want to pursue her for reasons that are unknown, aka the plot. So, there's a point where she heads out. They talk for a little bit, and she's just not trying to hear it, and then she leaves. And now Cody's there trying to get advice from Maxie, and I'm just like, I don't. It's. I won't even sit there and say it's stupid. It's in the beginning it was annoying, and now I'm just kind of over it. Now I'm just the whole time it's on. I'm just sitting there looking at my phone like, yeah, that's still going on. Okay, whatever. I'm just over it. Apparently, he has some sort of full plan. He has some sort of full worth plan or whatever to sit there and try to get her, to like be with her or whatever. And apparently the plan is somewhat good because Maxie approves of it. Of course, Maxie has not exactly made the best choice when it comes to men sometimes, so it's kind of up in the air. But if anyone's actually still shipping those two, he has a plan, and I guess it'll work out. Hopefully, maybe, I don't know. I don't really care. Towards the end, I feel like I actually got a glimpse of the old Ava. Old Ava. The one that was smart, sharp, didn't take crap from anyone, not even Carly. The good old days. She didn't notice that, when Spencer sat down, she was like, whose side are you on? Because she saw that he was doing what he can to not sit there and give the DA too much, incriminate her too much. So while he made that whole display of, oh, I'm protecting Esme, I believe in Esme and everything like that, she's like, whose side are you really on? It's a shame that Trina didn't see that. Jocelyn is an idiot, so I don't really expect much out of her. But the good old Ava, Ava that we used to know and love, she came out to them. So that was nice. It's like the old Julian, I miss the old Julian. Not the one that used to, that was cowering in fear every time Sonny walked into the room. I think that's what most, like, when I think back on villains, it really makes me appreciate Alcazar. Alcazar walked up to Sonny. He wasn't afraid, you know, he was fearless. And you don't really see that too often. Julian was, oh no, and Carly's like, Carly with Ava is just like, and I think maybe that's what people like about Nina. Now, I'm not a fan of Nina, obviously, but it is something that people do like about Nina. Nina will not sit there and back down from Carly. And of course, what makes their chemistry really great is the fact that they worked before on, I don't know, Guiding Light or something. So, between that, I think that's another reason why people like Nina. Now, at some point, Jordan did come up to talk to Britt. Britt couldn't really give too much information because HIPAA, and apparently some people actually do still believe in HIPAA laws. So she gave her the little information that she could. Jordan shared a little bit of information that she could. But it got to a point when they was asking about specific drugs and things of that nature. And, Jordan kind of realized that Britt was protecting somebody, Spencer. So Britt was like, listen, I can't give him information because if I do, I don't want to sit there and ruin this person or whatever. But Jordan was like, listen, I'll tell you what. You tell me who it is, and if it doesn't go anywhere, I won't say anything. So I feel like Britt is going to sit there and talk about Spencer as far as the drug and everything like that. Um, I feel like at some point that whole Spring Ridge thing, as far as Spencer being out of Spring Ridge when he was, I mean, not Spring Ridge, was it Spring Ridge? Yeah, maybe it was Spring Ridge. When he wasn't supposed to, is going to come to the light of day. It just says. The question is he actually going to go to jail for it? I feel like that's about it. I feel like, well, I kind of covered everything, or at least the most pertinent information. Before I go, because I don't want to forget, I said this in my other review. So tomorrow, um, if you're in LA time zone, it's going to be 6. If you're in New York time zone, it's going to be 9. I'm going to be, me and DC Soap Sanctuary are going to be on JOJ Media, Extra Connections. So that should be fun. I'm actually really looking forward towards it. We bumped heads in the past, and we'll continue bumping heads on certain topics. But at the end of the day, there's a certain level of respect, especially seeing how far JOJ Media has come and how hard how hard he's worked and everything like that. So I definitely give him a lot of credit and a lot of respect. Um, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be live, so it should be around like 9 something, give or take. But he usually saves a lot of his live, so if you can't catch it around that time, um, you can catch it after. But definitely catch the live though if you can. And with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.